Thank you so much, Katlego and Andrea. So from healthy bodies, we turn our attention to healthy minds. And this week, the 55th International Mathematical Olympiad is being held in South Africa for the very first time. With 108 students from over 100 countries gathered in Cape Town, this is definitely the World Cup of mathematics. 6 young South African enthusiastic learners will rub shoulders with fellow learners from across the world and test their mathematical mettle against some of the sharpest young minds on the planet. And as the International Mathematical Olympiad kicked off yesterday, we invited President of the South African Mathematics Foundation, Prof Engelbrecht, in studio to have a little chat with us. Professor, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Morning,
really appreciate it, and I hope you're not too cold in this this very icy Cape Town morning.
I think it's better here than in Pretoria, where I come from.
Look, I do realize it's very cold up in the northern parts, yes. Let's talk about this International Mathematical Olympiad. Very, very exciting. Kicked off yesterday. What is this all about?
Well, this is an exciting event. As you mentioned, first time on African soil that we're hosting the International Mathematics Olympiad. And by the way, we have almost 600 participants taking part, representing 103 different countries.
Sure.
So these are, as you say, the focus of mathematics. If you look at a blip of the Earth, there will be a bright mathematical spark here in Cape Town at the moment. The best brains in the world are gathered here together.
Yeah. Now, as it came to our shores, what was the reaction of some of the students, taking part locally?
I think everybody is very excited. We had the opening ceremony last night, which was spectacular. You should have been there. It was great watching these youngsters walking across the screen, each country representing their countries. It was very exciting. And this morning, they start with the first paper. Tomorrow morning, the second paper.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to see what happens.
Now, this is a big. We call it the World Cup of mathematics.
Exactly.
Almost. What was the selection process like as to who gets to enter?
Quite stiff. It differs from country to country. In our country, we look at performance in the National South African Mathematics Olympiad that is organized by the South African Mathematics Foundation, and then we pick out the best and expose them to a training program. They attend camps at certain universities, and we look at all these results, and in the end the team is selected. So it's very tough to get into the team, and I think we have a good team this year.
We have our 6 South Africans taking part. I want to ask you this, something like the International Mathematical Olympiad, is it something that is growing in schools in terms of, just getting students more comfortable with maths? Because it's normally, if you think about something like this, it's geared towards maybe the more intellectual students. But what about the rest? Is this something that you guys are focusing on as well?
Absolutely. In fact, I try to emphasize that Olympiads is not only for the bright kids. It's meant for everybody. Our main objective is not necessarily to find winners, but to expose everybody. We would like huge participation, because the taking part in Olympiads, you get some exposure to problem solving, which is very important. And in our current mathematics curricula, there's hardly any space for problem solving. So I would recommend all youngsters to take part in the regional and national Olympiad.
Exactly. I want to ask you this. You touched on this just now, but recently statistic came out showing that the mathematical skill in South Africa is fairly shocking. We can't hide that fact. But it's also proven that 15 of the highest earning university careers have all one thing in common, and that is mathematics. What would you like to see done in South Africa to really raise the bar and improve the mathematical skill around students?
I'm glad you touch on that, because mathematics is becoming increasingly important in more and more careers. So we need more mathematics people. We need more youngsters that go into engineering, into computers and statistics. So, as you mentioned, according to some international measuring criteria, it's not going that well with our maths education. Perhaps the recent report is somewhat exaggerated, but rather than condemning the report, I'd like us to take note of what we get from that, and let's put in a concerted effort to change and improve the mathematics teaching situation in the country. You asked for how. I don't know. There are 3 things that I could recommend. First of all, we need to raise the status of mathematics teachers. Young people should want to become a mathematics teacher. We want the best of the current generation to teach the next generation. Secondly, I think our curricula are very full. we should start thinking about a second subject in mathematics for people that plan a numerical university study program. And thirdly, as I said earlier, participate in Olympiads, because that will definitely improve the whole situation.
And I think that could be your message to students out there. Don't be scared when it comes to Olympiads like this.
Please don't. And through the South African Mathematics Foundation, we have teacher development programs, learner development programs. Call us. We'd like to help.
Absolutely love it. Now, the students you mentioned are writing 2 papers today and tomorrow.
That's right.
What are some of the other activities planned for them throughout?
Well, they have a number of excursions, of course. This has been going on for a long time, the whole organization. And last week, the jury, consisting of all the leaders of the different countries, they met the entire last week. I was part of that meeting. It was exciting to sit there with these people. We set papers and drafted the marking memoranda. So tomorrow and Wednesday they'll be writing the question papers, and then the coordination starts. The people marking these inputs from the youngsters. And on Saturday night, we have the closing ceremony where all prizes will be awarded.
Brilliant. Very, very exciting. Professor, thank you so much for joining us and giving us a little bit of a peek into what this Olympiad is all about. And it sounds all very, very exciting. Thank you once again for coming in.
Thank you. Nice.
And that was Professor Johann Engelbrecht, President of the South African Mathematics Foundation, talking about the International Mathematical Olympiad currently taking place. And we do wish the 6 South Africans taking part all the best of luck. They are going to make us proud. I know it's already. We're going to be taking